This is To Billionaire. This is episode 3 of the series. If you haven't watched my other 2 episodes, I recommend you go back and watch them now before you watch this one. In today's episode, we're going to earn enough money to buy the submarine, which is going to let us start up a heist, which is going to make us a minimum of $1 million every single time. Also, a quick reminder to make sure that you spin your wheel as well as doing your G's cash. As well as another reminder to also make sure that you're doing your stash houses every day, seeing as we only have one business at the minute, which is the acid lab. The acid lab is always going to get filled up, meaning you'll be able to sell your acid lab like I've done here. I did do this twice throughout this playthrough. I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. So if you're wondering where the extra monies came from, you should be selling your acid lab whenever it fills up. Where I left off in the last episode, I wanted you to make sure that you've done the 10 DAX missions. So if you have done that, as you can see in the top left of my screen right now, it's come up saying that I can get the upgrades, meaning that we're able to buy the upgrades for the acid lab, meaning that we will make a lot more money from it. In order to buy these acid lab upgrades, you're going to want to head over to Mutt in the freak shop. You're going to want to come up to him, customize acid lab, go on to the acid lab upgrades. Then you want to get the equipment upgrade, and that is going to cost you $250,000, but trust me, it is more than worth it because you are going to make that money back soon as anything. Moving on to the main money maker of today, we are doing the last dose missions. In order to start doing these missions, you're going to want to head to the yellow D on your map, just like it was for the first dose missions, except from now it's the last dose, which is the rest of the story to the Drug Wars series. The reason that I've chose this as the money maker for today's episode is purely because for the 5 last dose missions, each of them you will get a bonus $100,000 for the first time playthrough, which if you do the maths, that is $500,000. So for about an hour and a half's work, you will be getting $500,000, as well as the money that you'll make just doing the jobs alone, which is probably going to be like an extra 25k per mission. You'll end up with around about 600 to 650,000 at the end of it. Now, all these missions are really simple, and I know that this is a beginner series, but if you've watched my first 2 episodes, then you should have the basic gist of the combat in this game by now, and you should have also bought the weapons that I told you to get in the first episode. These missions should take around about 2 hours, but after we do this, then we can get the Kasok submarine, and then we're going to start earning a lot more money. For the first mission of Last Dose, we just literally have to wipe out all the enemies. That's as simple as it is. It's probably one of the easiest missions of the series. But anyway, once you've got that done, we can move on to the next mission. And as you can see in the top right corner of my screen, just after completing that mission, I have been awarded a bonus $100,000, which you are going to get, as I said, for each of these missions that we're going to do. Moving on to the second mission, in this one we have to go talk to 3 different suspects, and then we find the location of the hippie boss. Once you've interrogated him, he will reveal the location as to where we have to go to next, which is like this little warehouse area where we have to go and we have to take pictures of their equipment just so that we can try and find where their hiding lab are at. Before we leave, however, we do have to collect this key card, as this will help us later on. After collecting the key card, leave the area, and the mission is as simple as that. Quickly moving on to the next mission, this is where we retrieve lab rat. So basically you've got to come to this building here and get to the top floor first of all, because this is where we're going to find where they're hiding lab rat, as well as we have to collect the keys to get to the door. So once arriving at the top floor, make sure that you come over to this clipboard here and then also collect these keys, as you'll need these as well. After doing this, head down to the basement, and then this is where we're going to retrieve lab rat, because we're going to have to take out all the enemies down here and then we're able to rescue them. After rescuing lab rat from the facility, all you're going to want to do is drive him back to the freak shop, avoiding the enemies obviously, and then once you're back there, the mission is done. So far so good. We're 3 missions in, that's $300,000. As you can see, I've just got my bonus $100,000 there, and we're going to move on to the next mission. And in this mission, this is personally one of my favorites. I just really enjoy this mission. It's so trippy and it just fits the Drug War series really well. But anyway, what you're going to want to do is, instead of following DAX, as you don't have to, what you're going to want to do is just head on your map and put a location marker on the location that it's already got. So don't worry about following DAX, because if you get there sooner, then you can get it done sooner and it's just easier for everyone. As you can see, I've just arrived at the rehab clinic now, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is just take out all the enemies, and then you're going to want to head over here, and then it should start the next part of this mission. So basically what happens now is, during this cutscene, our character is drugged, causing all of the trippy effects to happen in this next part. During this, you are going to have to kill a bunch of different enemies. As you can see from me now, I've got aliens to kill. This will give you access to Mark II weapons as well, so have fun messing around with them. As you can see, I've just got bodied by an alien right there. So after you have went through killing all the enemies, the final one will be kill your ego, and that's basically just killing your own character. As you can see here, I've got the other player's character that is joined me. As I was playing this with another person. You don't have to play this with another person, you can do it solo, as I've said. You also have to kill like Dax in this, you have to kill Luchadora as well, so overall it's just a fun, trippy sort of mission. Once it does pop up saying to accept what you cannot change in the top left corner, you are able to die after that, and then once you've died it will say trip survived, and then you will have completed the mission. Now we're going to head over to the final mission of this series, and this will round us up for the money that we need for the Kasok submarine. As you can see, I've just got my bonus $100,000 in the top right corner there. So let's head over to the next mission. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go over and get into the Vellum. This is the plane that you'll get for doing this mission. And I just want to start off by saying that I do find this mission quite difficult towards the ending. I did struggle with this personally, but if you give it a few attempts, you should get there eventually, or maybe I'm just bad and you'll get it the first try. Once you're in the Vellum and you've started flying, head over to LSIA, and then from here you are going to want to follow this plane. And what you're going to want to do is fly very close to it so that you're able to hack the plane like I'm doing here. And then once you've hacked the plane, you are going to want to fly through the rear door, just go straight in there, and then this will start the next part. Once you've crashed the Vellum into the plane, you are just going to have to kill every enemy in there. Once all the enemies are dead, head over to the cockpit, and then you're going to have to land the plane. And once the plane has landed, I didn't feel like showing you this part as the plane lands itself basically when you get close enough to the marker, so don't worry if you're not very good at flying, it basically does everything itself. But anyway, once you've got to the ground, enemies are going to start to spawn in, and what Dax is going to do is he's going to take supplies off the plane and put them into a van whilst you have to protect him. Once you've protected him for long enough and the van is full, what you're going to want to do is head over and get into the truck, and then you're going to have to drive it back to the freak shop without letting the truck health get to completely depleted, because otherwise you will have to start from this section again, and this process just is very long, and this just I think is a very difficult mission personally. Now I did run through an issue when doing this for some reason, and I've never had this happen before, but I actually got the truck stuck, as you can see here, and I had to get another car, and this made the mission even longer than what it had to be, and this was just really fucking stupid. Thankfully, however, I did manage to get the van unstuck. As you can see, I just barged into it loads of different times with the car, and eventually I was able to actually drive the truck, because otherwise starting this mission again I probably would have gave up. Anyway, moving on, we have finally done the last dose series, which means that we should have enough money to buy the Kasok submarine. If you haven't got enough money, maybe go do your daily skydives, maybe give your wheel a spin if you haven't already today. And you know, there are other ways to make a quick buck if you need to, so just maybe go back, watch some other episodes if you need tips. Also, after completing the last dose series, you will get a call from Dax, which will basically give you a free car, and this car is pretty sick if you ask me. It's not got great top speed. I'll show you it now. So this here is the location of the car, so we're just going to head over there real quick, and here it is. This is the Ocelot Virtue. And this car, it's got a really great acceleration speed. However, the top speed isn't great, but either way, as a new player, I'm imagining if you're starting watching this series and you're still a beginner, then this car is pretty good as one of the first cars. Obviously, we do have the Bravado Banshee if you're playing on Xbox Series XS or the PS5. However, this car I do really enjoy driving around. I think it's really fun. However, it's just the livery that I don't like. However, you can change that. Also, a quick little tip before we go ahead and buy the Kasok submarine. This is for the Acid Lab, by the way. So what you're going to want to do is head on to the services. On the interaction menu, you're going to want to head over to your Acid Lab and then go to product name, and then just change it to anything, because this actually does give you like an extra 20k bonus when you sell a fully like stock, if you get what I mean. But this can earn you a bit of extra money. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, an extra 20k per sale, but it will add up. Anyway, back to the Kasok. Now, before you buy the Kasok submarine, you do have to head over to the music locker, which is just on the side of the casino, as you can see here. Now, before you're actually able to do this, you do need to wait for a text from Miguel Madrazo. As you can see, I've got one here, and then you just want to go ahead and head into the music locker. Once inside, head on down these stairs, go over to this little green M on the mini map, and then it will take you into a cutscene. The cutscene isn't very important, so I'm just going to skip through it. However, once this cutscene is over, we are finally able to buy the Kasok. Now that we're able to purchase the Kasok, I'm just going to go ahead, and we're not getting any modifications for it. We're just going to go ahead and get the base thing. The upgrades I suppose we could get later on if we really needed to, but most of them aren't really too important. And there we go, we finally have the Kasok submarine, which is going to enable us to be able to start up the Cayo Perico heist, which is the most profitable heist in the game for a solo player, as you can do this heist completely solo. You don't need to rely on anyone else, and you can take all the money. This heist will give you at least $1 million every time, so it's really big money for a beginner is what I'm trying to say. Anyway guys, that is everything. In the next episode, we will be going over a complete beginner guide to the Cayo Perico heist. I do have one of these up on my channel already, however, we still do one more. I will link the other one at the end of this video, but stay tuned for the next episode as well. And thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my content, and that is everything until next time, guys.